Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Street Smart Millionaire. Well, it's December 15th. The year is almost over. It's a good time to take account of where you've been, what you've done, and of course, to make changes for next year. You know, being in the coaching business, I had a big event in November. I had my 345 members. I had about 145 guests. I had about 114 that signed up for coaching. I think people right now want to make changes. And they know to make changes, you have to be held accountable and you have to have good leadership. I read John Maxwell every day about leadership, and I look at what people are doing in their lives and in their businesses. And I read the Bible every day, the proverb every day, and many times it says, seek good counsel, get good counsel. Those under authority win. Be a good soldier, be a hard worker, be a good person. You know, it's like over and over, the theme keeps pouring into me about what to do. So as I look at my year in the mortgage business, I closed right at about 2,100 loans with about 30 loan reps. And I did about $875 million worth of business. So almost $1 billion in the mortgage business, which is pretty good. We were up about 7% this year is all we were up. So I think that, is that a good year or a bad year? Well, up is a good year. If you win the football game by 1 point, you still won the football game. I always shoot for like 10% growth. In my coaching business, I had a big year. I mean, I got a lot of new clients. I did a lot of events. I was mad last year. I didn't love my results last year. So I put my head down. I worked really hard for like a year and a half. I was up 46% in the coaching business. So we had a great year in the coaching business. In the stock market, I was up 23%. But November, I gave a lot of money back. And December, I'm giving a little money back. So right now, I'm up about 16% for the year in the stock market. So, you know, under 10% in the mortgage business, over 40% in the coaching business, over 15% in the stock market. Those are really good years economically. I will tell you right now, I'm a little baffled. It seems like the stock market is not having a Christmas rally, did not have a big November, which everybody projected. So here's what I will tell you. Nobody really knows what's going to happen to the bond market, the economy, or the stock market. You can play like what's happened in history, what it looks like it's going to do. But at the end of the day, how good your business is decides on the amount of sales you make, the referral partners you have, the way you follow up on your leads, and of course, the way you treat people. I just closed on a new farm today. So I bought another 55 acres right by my current farm. So I have 70. Now I have 55 more acres. And the realtor did an excellent job. She was very thorough. She found the property off market. I got it at a really good price. She did a really good job. She called me every Tuesday and updated me. She got me a pre-closing package on yesterday to go over the closing documents before I close. She handled everything. She brought me a bunch of moving boxes. I don't need them, but it was a great thoughtful present to give me moving boxes. Very thorough, very professional. But I'm going to tell you, if you want to talk about being wealthy, I'm going to go over the big five. So number one is sales has to be your most important thing, that you're bringing in new clients and you're retaining your current clients. So when I look at sales, I look at acquisition and retention. Am I catering the clients I have? Yes, Michelle will get me as a realtor. I will again use her for more property. She did a great job. So on retention, she did a great job. On acquisition, she's not so strong. That's why she does about 12 million a year in volume, which is pretty good, but it's not like 20, 50, 100 million. So it has to keep growing. So when I look at wealth, I look at your sales skills. Are you bringing in a lot of clients? Are you retaining a lot of clients? That's the most important thing when I look at helping people accumulate wealth. Now listen, I've had about 770 people make $1 million under my authority. My biggest client is a financial planner. He'll make about 16 million this year. I've got another client that'll make 15 million. I've got probably one that makes 4 million. I probably got 6 that make 3 million. This year I probably had 160 people make $1 million. I probably had 30 that made 2 million. So I have a lot of people that are wealthy. I have a plumber that makes 2 million. I have a production company that made $1 million for the first time. So I have a lot of different industries that I help people in to be wealthy. So we're going to talk about a couple things today, the big five to be wealthy and what is wealth. So the first thing I want to talk about is sales has to be your number one priority. No matter what your business is, a restaurant, a realtor, a lender, a coaching company, a building company, a property management company, you got to go out and get new clients. And you got to keep the clients you have. You cannot get clients and not keep them. That is just not acceptable. So you got to get clients and you got to keep clients. Number two, You got to have a really good team. You got to have people that do things for you that are in their wheelhouse that may not be in your wheelhouse. I'm not saying that you have to hire people that are smarter than you. I know a lot of people that say that. I hire a lot of people that are smarter in a certain thing than me. Like I do a really good job in sales. I do a really good job leading a team. I'm really good with financials. So number two is the quality of your team. Like I always have a next man up mentality. So if somebody doesn't want to be here or they're not doing a great job, I always have a bench. So as you get bigger in business, you have people that are on your bench. Like my plumber is losing his main staff person, and he's hiring 4 new staff people. Out of the 4, maybe 2 will work out. That's because he has a big income that he can afford to put them 4 people on, because 4 people probably cost 20 grand a month. So he can afford a bench. So you got to get big enough with your sales so you can afford a bench. Number 3 to being wealthy, you got to have really accurate financials. I mean, you got to have a tight P&L, tight personal budget. You got to have tight financials. You got to know what each thing is costing. Like I work at a big company. It's the #1 company in America across country. And we're working on tightening up our financials to give our branches simpler financials to understand so that they can really analyze what they're spending, what they're keeping, so that our company can help them make more money. That's the company's, that's what I love about this company. Their main focus is getting their people to do better. That's really, more people is great, but getting your people to do better is more important. It helps with retention. So that's number 3. Number 4 is easy. Save 20% for 20 years and don't touch it. If you do that, you'll be wealthy. I did a bunch of budget meetings with a bunch of employees today, and they're all saving between $300 and say $2 grand a month. And these are all staff people. And they're on track that in 20 years, they will all have $1 million to $3 million in the bank set aside. And the last thing, number 5, you got to learn how to be a good investor. So whether it's you're investing in real estate or stock market or gold or silver or commodities, you got to be an avid investor. You got to pay attention. What I've done over the last 5 years is I like to learn from TV and watching things on podcasts. So I've spent probably, I spend today at this time in my life about 4 hours a week learning about money, researching investments, researching companies, watching TV shows like Fast Money and Mad Money. I don't do everything they say, but I like to hear what their opinion is. And then I go do research. So I'm like trust with verification. So I trust the people on TV, but I like to verify everything. I don't like to believe everything everybody tells me. So I spend a lot of time working on my investing. These are the big 5: sales, team, accurate financials, save 20% for 20 years, don't touch it, and learn how to be a good investor. If you work on those 5 things, you'll be wealthy. And of course, you got to put the time in. Like a lot of people are looking for a quick fix. I look at that. I'm 41 years in the mortgage business. I'm pretty good. I'm not great. I'm pretty good. I can get a lot better. I can get a few more loan reps. I can get 1 or 2 more loans per loan rep. I think this year I averaged 6.4 loans per loan rep, and the national average is like 2.2. So I'm doing really good, but my dream would be, like, I'll take an example. I had a company I coached years ago, really small company. They had 50 guys and closed 500 loans. I thought it was the best company in America. I look at loans per loan rep as the quality of a company. I don't look at net bottom line profit as the quality of a company. Like, how many clients do I get to $1 million? That impresses me. How much do my clients give away? That impresses me. How much do my clients save? That impresses me. Those are things that I'm looking at as a coach when I grade myself. So the big 5, work on your sales, both acquiring and retaining clients. Number 2, have a good team to help you deliver a really great experience so the client feels like happy to pay you. Number 3, you got to have really accurate financials. Number 4, you got to save 20% for 20 years. And number 5, you got to be a really good investor. So let's talk about what is wealthy. You really have 2 options. You're getting rich or you're getting wealthy. And I'm going to tell you, you don't want to be rich. Let me tell you about rich people. Number 1, they're complicated. Number 2, they buy people. Number 3, they put themselves first. Number 4, they're hoarders of money. They're not generous. Number 5, there's so many things you can say. They're flashy. They're rude. There's so many things about being rich that I don't want to be. And then I look at being wealthy, kind, generous, put others first, lead people, don't boss people around, seek counsel, they don't know everything. These are the opposites between rich and being wealthy. I will tell you, truthfully, I bounce. Sometimes I act rich. Sometimes I'm not always as kind as I should be. Sometimes I'm a little selfish. Sometimes I'm a little bossy. A lot of times I'm a little bossy. But I think that you have to work on looking at these lists. Like I have it on my desk under my glass, and it has my mission, my values, my purpose, my vision, what motivates me. I have that on one list, and on the other list, I have the difference between rich and wealthy, so that I can focus on being a wealthy man, making a big difference in the planet, teaching other people how to get wealthy. Like, I didn't do this for a long time. I've always been a really good coach, but I don't know that I've always been a great teacher, and I'm working on teaching you all about money. So I think that you want to be wealthy, you don't want to be rich. I think the Bible is either the Word of God or a famous book that's been around for 2,000 years. To me, it's the Word of God. And it says rich people are bad, wealthy people are good. That's basically what it says. It says that if you don't put others first, you're being selfish. And it's not true. There's a story in the Bible where this young rich man comes up to Jesus and he says, I want to follow you. I'm doing all these good things. I'm taking care of people. And Jesus says, well, I see you've done a lot of good things. I'm paraphrasing. And he says, give up all your money and come with me. And the rich man couldn't give up all his money. It was his money. It wasn't like God's money. And I think wealthy people think of it as they're a steward of God's money, that they're in charge of these blessings that God has brought them, and they have to do a good job and take care of it. So have I been a little flashy in my life? Yes, but I'm pretty simple. I live on a farm. I drive a 2020 Ford truck. My second car is a 2017 Ford Expedition. I do wear a stainless steel Rolex, but I wouldn't wear a gold Rolex. I do wear Ferragamo dress clothes. I do wear Carhartt when I'm not working. So I'm working on being a simpler man as I get older. And I want to be a man that looks like he does okay. But really, when you look at the depth of my bank account, my assets, and my financials, you'll say, wow, he's really well off. You know, I watch a lot of TV and I'll see somebody on TV. I don't have a smartphone. I have an old-fashioned flip phone, so I can't really look anything up online. But it's funny, I'll be with my buddies and I'll have them look people up and find out what they're worth. And it's like, compared to the world, I'm pretty wealthy. And I think, let's talk about what wealth is. So if you make over $1 million 10 years in a row, you should be wealthy. If you have $10 million in the stock market, you are wealthy. If you have $2 million in equity in real estate, you are wealthy. If you have zero debt, you are wealthy. So just so you know, most wealthy people don't have any mortgages. I have an office building, a man cave, 2 farms, a big lake house. I don't owe anybody any money. I don't have any car loans. I bought the farm with interest on my assets. So this year I made, like I said, 16.5% in the stock market, which was a lot of money. And I bought the farm with the interest I made on the money. I didn't use any of my cash. I didn't use a loan. So I think that wealthy people buy with interest, rich people buy with debt. So if you got to go out and finance a car, that's rich behavior. If you got to finance a Rolex, that's rich behavior. If you're mortgaged to the hilt, that's rich behavior. So it's like, houses are good investments and they go up in value. Like, I believe you got to have a real estate portfolio and you got to have a stock portfolio. I believe the stock portfolio should be way bigger than the real estate portfolio. I think real estate is great. I think you buy a nice house. You buy a house that's 3 to 4 times what you make, so you're leveraged, and you use the mortgage to leverage your investment. I think you move every 3 to 5 years, and you change as your life requires and your financials require. I think you have to live in as much house as you can afford. Do that and save 20% for 20 years. Do those 2 things, keep moving up every 3 to 5 years, and stick your 20% in the stock market and learn how to be an investor. I was doing budgeting on some of my employees today. I look at all my employees' budgets every month. I do goal setting on all my employees. I do budgeting on all my employees. We do charity work with all my employees, and we have tons of food for them to eat. In my office, you can have breakfast, you can have a snack, you can have lunch, and you can have a snack. I bring in a fun lunch every Thursday for all my employees. So I bring in lunch for everybody, and I have about right under 200 employees across the country. Locally, I have 55 employees downstairs in my coaching business, and upstairs I have one of my branches, so I have 23 employees upstairs. So I have about 73 employees locally in North Carolina. The rest of my employees are in Michigan, Ohio, Tennessee, so those are where my other offices are. I don't have a lot of offices. I have 4 locations, about 30 loan reps, so I try to have like 8 to 12 people per location so you can create an environment. I see a lot of people in the mortgage business and real estate business have a bunch of locations with people everywhere. That's easy to recruit like that, but it's not good for morale. It doesn't create a good culture. So, a lot of people want to own a business. I will tell you that I have worked in the mortgage business for other people for half of my career, and half of my career I owned a mortgage company. So I owned 20% of a pretty big mortgage company, and I owned 100% of a little brokerage company. So about 20 years I've been an owner. About 21 years I've worked for other people. I've worked for 2 billionaires, and both have changed my life. Both taught me a lot. I learn a lot from the guy I work for now about how to run a business, how to stay calm, how to do the right thing, how to solve problems. And I will tell you that he taught me something funny. And it's about 2 years ago. He said, Rick, the bigger you get, the more poop you have to eat. I'm like, what does that mean? And it's the truth. The bigger you are, the more grief you get, the more people complain about you, the more people are out to get you, the more people talk bad about you. So if you're going to be big, you're going to eat some poop. And I think that's not how he put it, but it's how I'm putting it. But I think that's part of it. And I think that, I'll get a lot of calls every day. Just so you know, I take about 30 phone calls a day. I have about 500 Zoom meetings a week. So I have 30 phone calls a day where I'm talking to somebody a day, and I have about 500 Zoom meetings where I'm interacting with people throughout the day. Then when it comes to videos like this, I get about 320,000 people that open a video of mine a month. We're getting a couple 100,000 are watching this podcast. I really appreciate you all very much. And I will tell you this, if you're in the mortgage and real estate business, hire me as your coach. I'm just telling you, I got a subscription for $99 a month, access to everything I teach, my playbook, everything I do. That's not really going to get you wealthy. You're going to have accountability. So if you're doing under 10 million, I've got a level 1 coaching program for $750 a month, work with a trainer, help you with your sales, get you more leads, get you bigger. If you do between 10 and 20 million, I got a level 2 where you work with coaches that make between $800 and $2 million. These are really good coaches that are in the business. And if you do over 20 million, I got a level 3 for $3,500 a month. We look at your greatness tracker, your lead tracker, your pay log, your P&L, your personal budget, all coached by people that make between 1 and 15 million. So it's pretty unbelievable. I think your coach should always be a little better in the business than you are. I look at all the new mortgage coaches and real estate coaches in the last 5 years, and most of them really don't have really good businesses. So look behind the curtain. What kind of business do they have? How much money do they make? How much money I'll tell you a secret about financial planners. I wouldn't deal with a financial planner that didn't give me his tax returns and his financials. I want to see, if you're going to manage my money, that you're in good financial shape. I think these are simple things to do some investigation to make sure you have the right counsel. Like the Bible says, doesn't say seek any counsel, it says seek good counsel. So in the mortgage and real estate business, I'm excellent counsel. In business in general, I'm pretty good counsel. As an investor, I'm pretty good counsel. So let's talk about being an entrepreneur. The most important thing is your sales. So you can't own a restaurant if you can't get people in the door. The number 2 thing, I believe to be an owner, for 25 years, you got to be an active owner. Like my first billionaire and my current boss are very active in the business. They take a lot of phone calls, they solve a lot of problems, they fix a lot of things. You've got to be an active owner. And to own a business, you got to have capital. I could open any kind of business I wanted, a restaurant, anything. Any company I wanted, I could own because I have capital. Now, number 4, you got to have a unified process. I love Chick-fil-A. I think they have number 4 and 5 down pat. They have a unified process. And number 5, they have unity. All the people like it there. All the people get along. Like in the core, we're a unified group and we do everything the exact same way. I'm a very active owner. I always go out and get leads, and I have lots of capital. I have a big back room. I look at a lot of my competitors. They have no back room. They have no infrastructure. They're just a bunch of guys that rent a room and they do a talk and they sign you up and they don't have anything to do. So listen, I've owned the core for 24 and a half years that I've owned the core. We have grown every single year except last year. Last year we fell, and this year I'm up 45%. So I'm right back on track, doing well. I have a lot of new clients. I have about 55 new level 3 clients starting in January. I have about 27 new level 2 clients starting in January. I lost about 26 level 3s, and I lost about 15 level 2s. So I will have growth. When I look at your business, I look at the law number 1, did you save 20% for 20 years? And law number 2, did you bring in more clients than you lost? I'll finish with a story. I have a young lady that was in my coaching program for 5 years, did really, really well. Just charming, funny, tough, just driven young lady that wanted to be a really good realtor. I mean, she had babies while she was in my program. She brought babies to the event. She is super committed. So first of all, if you're going to be successful, you got to be really committed to embracing the work. You got to love the suck, take the stairs, all these funny titles for all these different books. This is what you got to do if you're going to be big. So she was with me about 5 or 6 years, and she left me and went with one of my competitors because she thought she wanted a business. She thought she wanted agents under her instead of her. Well, let me tell you, Nobody's going to coach as good as me. I have great coaches that work for me. I have like 28 coaches. They're all excellent. They're not going to be as good as me. I'm going to be more invested, more involved. So she's going to be the best realtor. So she came back with me and I said, well, give up your business and go back to doing business and catering to people. She's blown up. She'll do 40 million this year. She's made $600,000. She's happy. She's spending a lot of time with her kids. In July, she'll come on my team and be one of my coaches. She'll be on track to do 50 million. And at 50 million, you can easily coach people that do 20 million and guide them. But she's doing great, and she is got a glow about her, and she's excited about serving clients. And she was telling me about clients she's helping and how much she likes them and how silly she was to get out of production. So I'm going to always coach. I'm always going to run a mortgage company. I'm always going to run a coaching company, but I'm always going to coach, and I'm always going to do direct sales. So direct sales is you talk to the referral partner, you talk to the client. Indirect sales, your system talks to the referral partner, your system follows up on the lead, your people follow up on the lead. Direct sales is the first million. Indirect sales, second, third million. This is what you need to focus on. So as far as the market, I think we're going to have a little rally before the end of the year. I don't know when, maybe we won't. If you're up over 7%, it's a good year. If you're up over 10%, it's a great year. If you're up over 15%, it's a spectacular year in the stock market. Remember, that counts my bonds, my cash, my bad investments, my good investments. I'm up 16.5%. We'll see how it ends. As long as it's over 10, it's really good. If it's over 15% return, it's spectacular. Don't be a greedy pig. 7% a year growth in the stock market, excellent. 10% growth a year in your income, fabulous. Don't grow too fast. I got a young student who's a phenom. He's the best I've ever had. He's 31 years old. He made $3.3 million this year. And I'm so worried about this kid, even though he's grounded, humble, committed to God, committed to family, committed to being under authority. I'm worried about the kid. At 31 years old to make $3 million, where does he go in 10 to 20 years? So, gosh, don't get too big too fast. Wealth is a long-term journey. Success is a long-term. Listen, I do not feel successful. I barely feel wealthy. I'm doing pretty good. I've got a pretty good business. I've got a pretty good portfolio of real estate and stocks. I'm doing pretty good. I'm going to get better, and I will finish with this. You look at your life, you have some good goals for next year, and you get better at everything. I'm going to be a better Christian. I'm going to be a better husband. I'm going to be a better dad. I'm going to be a better grandpa. I'm going to be a better friend. I'm going to be a better coach. I'm going to be a better employer. I'm just going to get better. And I will tell you this, if I focus on getting a little better in all the areas of my life, I'll have some blessings. I'll have some more clients to take care of. I'll have some great employees. I'll make some more money. I'll stick some more money in the stock market. Good things will come my way. So as we finish the year, I want you to review what you did in all your categories, and I want you to review what you're going to do better next year. So I'm excited about 2026. I'm thrilled for 2025. I think I have one more podcast for the year. Thank you all for following me. Send it to friends. Come with me if you're in real estate and lending business. Let me coach you, and I'll help you break some records. Have a great week. Have a happy holiday. Street Smart Millionaire Rick Ruby over and out.